Hi, how y'all doing? We're going to start off with the Cleveland side here. Just a brief review of what happened in Cleveland. I grew up about 18 miles from where Robert Godwin supposedly got shot by SStephens there in East Cleveland area. I think that's the Glenville area, and it's right by a freeway that goes into Cleveland and out to the east suburbs. And on Tuesday, about 11 a.m., that's when I first heard about SStephens when I was in that cafe. Anyways, the next morning, here's the paper. Manhunt ends in Erie. And this is what it looks like from above you. The purple pin was McDonald's. The red is the Burton School, where Stephens supposedly shot himself. That's where I rode my bike. And there's a McDonald's there. Above McDonald's, above that purple pin, about a half a mile, is the state police. That's their barracks in Lawrenceville. So that's how close they were to the action. And that's Burton School there. Now, you've probably all seen the video. Well, I broke up the video into screenshots. I guess this happened at 2 p.m. They said it was live, but it wasn't live. They admitted it wasn't live. And here's here's Godwin in the middle of nowhere collecting pop cans on an Easter Sunday, April 16th, 2017. There's nothing around there except homes in a very poor area. The whole storyline is idiotic. And now he's looking at Stephens, who's pointing his camera at Godwin. And he's going, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And right there, he puts his hands up, and Stephens has his gun pulled. Now here, he's aiming at Stephens, or he's aiming at Godwin, and he misses. He's shooting up. And there's an orange thing on the bag, and that expands. And I thought maybe it was a blood pack or whatever. But that there was an orange marking on the bag. And then Stephens twirls around. I measured it at 1.75 seconds. And he's like that. That's impossible to have that much blood. It doesn't even look like blood. You don't bleed like a paintbrush, spreading it on the sidewalk. There's another view. There's Stephens. Hey, look at him. Look how wide that blood is. Where's it coming from? You don't bleed that way. We're not like water pipes bursting in the winter, There's another picture. Now, this is real blood from a incident wherever. I just put it up there for good measure. Now, if you notice that black line in the picture there, that's not a shadow. It's just like charcoal. Well, take a guess where Godwin landed. Right where that black line is. It was a marker to put the blood and for him to rest on the ground while they're shooting the video. Now, somebody had put up a video showing the comparison between Virginia shooting Allison Parker and Godwin shooting. Same type of setup, if you remember it. They miss, same type of gun. Look at the same type of shirt that the guy in Virginia is wearing, Godwin has. I think they're just rubbing it in. Let's see if somebody notices. Same gun, same shirt. Now, Joy Lane was SStephens' girlfriend in Cleveland, and she was interviewed. And she said Steve called her Saturday night and said he quit his job and was leaving the state. That was the next day is when the shooting took place in Cleveland. And, the two daughters, blah, 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 blah. And these are like some of your crisis actors. They could be related, but they're in on it. They're always in the same interviews as usual. Now, the video of the killing was not streamed live. you'll notice a lot of deleted videos. I wonder why, you know. They started purging real truther stuff and people who thought or tried to act like real truthers. And this is Godwin's law, you know, to Eric Feinberg, another creep, you know. They wanted to not have people be able to live stream stuff in case something like the Godwin murder, you know, would happen. And I wonder if this Feinberg is related to Feinberg that gave out all the money for 9/11 and the Pulse and that. He was like the person hired to make sure everybody got paid. One of the things about Godwin is he lived in Euclid collecting cans in Glenville. You know, how did he get there? They don't say if he has a car, you know. And what I did is I mapped it out. The green pin is where he lives, and the red pin is where the shooting was. So how did he get there? I have no idea. Now, one of the things I noticed when Stephens did his turnaround, there was a shot. It looks like they might have messed up the editing. This is him on the ground, but I didn't see any blood. And I tried to clean up the picture. I don't see any red blood. If you look real hard in front of his body, you see like a little piece of white paper. Well, there should be blood over that, because I don't see any white paper there. I think that's where the blood covers over it. I'll go back up here. Maybe somebody can take the picture and enlarge it. And just to show you the relative distance here, this where the red pin is where the shooting took place, and there's the freeway just to the right there. It touches, it goes into Cleveland. That's downtown Cleveland with the purple pin. You can see the football stadium. My mom used to work in downtown Cleveland. Now, where the purple pin is here, that's where he shot. And that red pin, the guy in that house called up 9/11, but they erased the call. And you know, I don't know, maybe some of you might have heard it. It didn't really sound frantic, and you could hear his wife yelling, blah, blah, blah. And they deleted it, of course. Now, of course, Cleveland News, they have to have debunking social media myths, blah, blah, blah. They're going to tell us, you know, they had to do that because they're getting crushed on this. And excuse me, I still got my little sore throat type thing. Some information on SStephens. Yeah, he declared bankruptcy in January 2015. He had money problems. You know, typical stuff. And he also visited the casino at times, and it's just a crazy story, and they could have done it a lot better. Where did Godwin live? Well, I looked up Ohio voter records. He lived in Euclid, Ohio, and Stephens had lived in Euclid, Ohio for a little bit. And then I said, where did he used to live? At Earlwood Road. Well, this is where he lived in Euclid. It's like looks like a retirement home. Keep that in mind. Here's Earlwood. It's a dump. He lived pretty close to where he got shot. The second house there from the left. It's a dump. And here, where those arrows are, they tore is where he lived, right there. And when you go back, where the purple pin is, they tore it down. After he had moved in 2015 into Euclid. Unbelievable. You know, he was with his son's house, and then he goes to this girl that he had a couple kids with who lived near that area. You know, he lived in a house valued between $22,000 and $30,000. How does he get to a sort of a gated senior community center about 5 miles away? You know, it doesn't make sense. And he was stopped by his son's place right there in the Bold, pick up basketball equipment for another son. You know, but how? They don't say how. Then he went looking for cans. That's what I'm going to do. Let my dad or grandfather go pick up cans on Easter Sunday. He had 14 grandchildren, and his son lived kind of close by to where Godwin Sr. lived, and the green pin is where Godwin lived. The purple pin is the son, and he has to go all the way to the red pin. That's where he got shot. You know, how did he get there? And I'm going to put out these links in the description box. And the story was updated to correct the amount of children Godwin left behind. A family member initially told Cleveland.com the wrong number of children Godwin had. One of the things is the video of Godwin being shot, the camera is held really steady. Try shooting a gun and holding a camera in your left hand, you know? It doesn't, there should have been a lot of jiggling. So obviously somebody might have been filming, you know, standing right next to Stephens there in Cleveland. Now, somebody did a video on a Glock and shells come out. Yet in here, we don't see any shells. It's just a straight shot. You can see I made a screen capture and you can see the shells coming off to the right. And again, here is the black line on the sidewalk. I got it, cropped it in close. And then you see where they put the paint over it. And they're saying that's a shadow. It doesn't look like a shadow to me there on the ground. God damn it. This fucking... another thing is, how did Stephens get from Cleveland to Erie when it's the most wanted car in America at that time? And I'm thinking, to get him here, he drove up onto a semi, they brought him here to Erie, hid him until they needed him to drive around Erie. Could be something else, but hey, why not? At least to get the car here. Again, here's another shot of Stephens. You can see that little piece of white paper in front of him. You know, and I don't see any blood there. So where's it at? Well, what I'm going to do is I'll put the links to each of those posts that I highlighted, and you can see it better. It's a little bit harder doing it this way. I wish there were videos available, but you know, hey, that's why I screen cap. We'll start with, I'm going to be uploading parts 1, 2, and 3 in the Erie area, so that'll be happening really soon. Take it easy.